Another review is, owner's son needs to front up and try not to fight so many people.
What? So there's a dude who owns this place and his son's just trying to fight the patrons?
Ooh.
You got what I need.
It's nice. It's a good intro. I'm gonna let you do this on the karaoke only version because I can't put Biz Marquis' hit single over the intro of our song. It'll be a collision of sounds that I think our audience would not enjoy necessarily.
Yeah, it'll be a little strange. And not the kind of vibe we're going for, that's for sure.
No. I was about to I was about to reconcile with my uncharacteristically unpodtimistic take last week on X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm fresh on this one. I edited it yesterday, and here we are recording once again. Just the whole time I was like, oh man, this doesn't feel podtimistic at all.
Is this your come to Jesus moment, Chase?
This is my come to Crash Bandicoot moment. Insofar as
the Jesus of video games?
I think who is the Jesus of video games?
Well, are we talking about the first or the second coming of Jesus? Because there are going to be a lot of people who'd be the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah.
Not too many who'd be the first coming.
I think both first and second are Sonic, David. I think this is the only answer.
Sonic.
Sonko? The Hedgehog?
You know, it kind of makes sense because then he becomes supersonic and he just destroys everything.
Just like Jesus collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds and became supersonic.
I am become supersonic, the destroyer of worlds.
The destroyer of Eggman.
Okay, yeah, we've cracked the code.
I'm sorry, Christians. I feel bad about making this joke, but
we cracked the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, that's what the Da Vinci Code is actually about.
Yeah. The Waluigi Code?
It's Tom Hanks collecting. No, Tom Hanks cracking the code of the Chaos Emeralds in modern day, which raises Sonic, I guess.
Shadow Sonic?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes.
I wish I knew more about. There's so much lore with Sonic that I wish I knew more about. Like, it just runs so deep, and it's almost like this can of worms that I'm a little scared to open. Because it's like very on the internet and there's just a lot out there. I'm scared, David.
I really admire you for saying that you want to learn more about Sonic lore because that sounds like not something I would want to do.
I just invited the vampire into my home. I opened my soul to more Sonic lore, and it's going to come pouring into my body.
Yeah, you know, all of your smart speakers have just heard you say that, so you're just going to see Sonic lore, like books, ads, and stuff like that. Sonic podcasts all over your feed now.
I'm going to get a phone call. Hey, dude, it's me, your best friend. Do you want to learn some more lore? Do you want to learn the dark, magical secrets of my past?
Was he like a real hedgehog before and then like magic turned him into Sonic? Is that how it worked?
Do you want to know the necromancy that gave me the power to speak in English?
Necromancy. So he has a, what's it called in D&D when you're a necromancer and you have like a patron? Who's his patron?
That's why he's calling me, David. He wants me to be his new patron.
That would be pretty impressive. You'd be a pretty powerful man.
Would you like to be bound to my will and do my every command? Gotta go fast.
Sonic wants to be your patron.
No, backwards. He wants me to be his patron. He's summoning me to a darker realm.
Oh, God. Oh, God. This is the Sonic game we really need.
I need you to do my dark bidding and summon the old one.
There it is, everybody. There's the old one.
Okay, but I think this one counts because it was saying it in a Sonic voice. It doesn't actually count as an old one joke yet.
That's fair. It's Eldritch Sonic.
Simply by me calling you, I have flayed your mind. Oh, your brain will never be whole again.
All of his spikes are tentacles now. That'd be pretty good.
That would be pretty good. Hey, it's Video Game Podtimism. It's the Optimist video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of Sonic in video games. My name is
Sonic impersonation. When did that happen?
I watched a lot of the show when I was younger, so maybe there.
Okay, checks out.
My name is Chase, and I'm open to Sonic lore.
My name is David, and I'm pretty firmly close to it. I don't need more lore in my life. I get obsessed with lore. I don't know if Sonic lore is the kind of lore I want taking up my lore space in my brain.
You do sort of consume lore like you're hunting for the secret of blood in Bloodborne. Like it's a very voracious consumption.
Yeah, I just am that way. I don't know what it is about me, but if you tell me there's good lore in like a fantasy or sci-fi game, I'm about to bust out my reading glasses and get real close to that television screen because I'm about to be reading a book.
Some say Kos.
Or perhaps Kosum.
Kosum. David, have you been playing video games?
I have been, actually, yes.
Could you please tell me about those?
Sure. I played Rocket League with the homies.
Of course, yeah.
I got
the standard
MVP in a competitive match for the first
Let's
time
fucking
ever.
go. You're finally good at this game.
I wouldn't go that far, but
David is good at Rocket League now. Everybody declared here publicly.
Every once in a while, do one or two good things in a game, and I get a lot of points. And then my controller flashes when I get MVP, and it's like, hey, good job. It's pretty cool.
You did it.
So I've been playing that. I dipped my toes back into Tony Bro again. Tony Bro Skater. Yeah, Tony Brohawk.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What a pull. Why?
I'm just kind of in between games still a little bit, and I was like just trying to find the game that was vibing with me at the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not feeling big meaty games right now. I'm feeling like little kangaroo dunkaroos of games. A
dunkaroo.
I'd say Tony Hawk is kind of the dunkaroo of video games.
It's possible, yeah.
So played that, and that was pretty fun. Dipped my toes into Subnautica.
Again, yeah, nice.
Yeah, played a little bit more of that.
Where are you in this game right now?
Not very far. I'm scared.
Cool.
I'm scared of going further away from my ship. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's fun. It's fun to explore. I love exploring in games. And the thing I've been playing the most this week, though, is Ratchet and Clank.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow. You're talking about the like remake that they did a couple years ago?
The remake / movie tie-in they did. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. What do you think about this video game?
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's the one I played the most recently.
Cool.
I started it a while ago, but it stopped because it just wasn't vibing with me at the time.
Sure.
I think the beginning of the game has a lot of like their humor in it, and the humor just wasn't hitting for me.
Yeah.
This time around for one reason or another.
Yeah.
But now that it's gotten past that kind of setting, like what's the word I'm trying to look for? Exposition period of the game.
Yeah.
And now I'm just getting into like the guns.
The good stuff. The
good stuff. The good stuff is still really good.
Yeah,
and the game looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give it another shot because I saw that they just released a 60 frames per second patch for it on the PS5.
Didn't know about this.
Runs buttery smooth, my guy.
Yeah.
Looks real nice.
I may have to do this, yeah.
But man, it is such a tried and true formula. Just you get some cool guns. The more you use them, the stronger they get.
The better they get, yeah.
It's just all fun. It's just all fun. They don't make many games like this anymore.
It is weird that they like nailed that formula very early in the series. I know that like it's a remake, so like they I think they added a lot of quality of life stuff in there, but like the concept of you getting cool, like just wild and almost funny sci-fi guns to beat up just increasingly large hordes of dudes. It's good.
It is.
It's just good.
Yeah. And they're just wacky, cool guns that you can't really play in any other game.
Yeah.
Just good stuff.
I loved in these games where you would get like the Pokemon transformation screen whenever your gun gets like enough experience and it's like, oh, it's evolving. Your blade gun is evolving. Then it gets like cooler and like... yeah, exactly. And that was always very satisfying. Obviously, I love a Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah, and it's always very satisfying when the gun is fully maxed out and that little experience bar for the gun is just always full. You're like, yep, level 5, baby, here we are.
That is as strong as it gets.
That's a stronky. I think that's a new name when it gets extra strong. Feels good.
It does feels good. I like Ratchet and Clank. I hope the new one's good.
I think it looks really, really good. At least visually, it looks amazing.
The visual polish is pretty outrageous. Well, great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This I love Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, get in there. It's pretty fun. I think
I played this a couple years ago.
You did play it?
Yeah, it was good. I like this game.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. Did they add a lot of stuff from the original, or did they already have all that starship battles and stuff?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I do not remember. I like was wondering this the whole time I was playing it. Like, was this in the first one? And I do not remember. I think I didn't play a lot of the very first Ratchet and Clank, or played it very quickly. I'm not sure. I was really into like the second and third one when they added like a bunch of other stuff, the Coliseum and shit like that. That was
you love yourself about. A good Coliseum.
God, dude, especially in a Ratchet and Clank game, because you get experience for your guns for beating dudes up. And so it's just like, I'm just gonna go in here and like Pokemon evolve all my guns. It was good stuff. Are you playing anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Great. Invite me in, David.
Chase, would you like to come in?
I would like to come into the segment, please. Invite me in.
Would you like to share a table and maybe a glass of wine and tell me about your video game diet for the last week?
David, I would love nothing more.
Cue Barry White in the background.
I, too, have been playing video games, David.
Cool.
Got a weird set of them this week.
I feel like you always have an interesting, eclectic set of games.
I know, yeah. Just got a horde of video games that I'm sort of picking through at any given moment. The first one is Clap Handz Golf, David.
Clap Handz.
Clap Handz Golf. This is a game. So Apple Arcade just dropped like a bunch of games. A lot of them are very good video games.
Okay.
I think the one that I've seen people talking about the most is Fantasian, which is this like game by Mistwalker, who it's a lot of folks from the original like Final Fantasy teams that went on to go make a bunch of other stuff. And they put this game out, and it's they put out Fantasian. I haven't played a ton of it, so I don't have like a ton of feelings, but that's the big one I've seen people talking about.
Sure.
The game that I've played the most of from this drop is called Clap Handz Golf, which is, if you'll remember the PlayStation 1 era, Hot Shots Golf. It is the same team or company, I should say, that made them. And it's a golf video game, and it's pretty good.
All right.
I've been using the Backbone 1 to play this game.
What's the Backbone 1? Is this a competitor to the RG351P?
No, it's like a thing that slots around your phone that sort of turns it into like a Switch almost. It's just a controller that plugs into one edge of your iPhone.
Oh, so this is a mobile game.
It's a mobile game. Yeah, it's for iPhone, Apple Arcade only.
Is this the first mobile game that we have featured on this segment?
That might be the case, honestly.
Whoa.
This may be the first mobile game, yeah, because I don't typically play a ton of mobile games, nor do I usually talk about them very much either. I'll play mobile games every now and then, but it's like not something that I'm crazy about.
Does crossword count?
Maybe. It is a game on the phone.
I play a lot of crossword on my phone.
Potentially. I don't even know. We can define what constitutes a mobile video game later, but I need to talk about Clap Handz Golf because it's a good golf game, and I don't exactly know why golf games have felt so particularly like nostalgic and satisfying to me in the past like 3 or 4 years of playing them. This game, Golf Story, and then the upcoming Nintendo's like Mario Golf that they're releasing,
Strikers or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just like awash in golf content right now, and I think the last time that happened was kind of the like N64 era where there was a lot of golf games coming out. Did awash in golf content sort of tickle you in a weird place?
It was funny. I just imagine that it's just as you get older, you're just like, yes, now is the time to start being interested in golf. There's some sort of genetic thing going on here.
I still have no taste to watch real golf. It is still absolutely mind-numbing and terrible to watch real-life golf, nor do I have any interest in playing in real life. However, Clap Handz Golf is really satisfying. Okay. It looks weirdly good. Like, whenever you, like, pull out from your last sick golf shot, it'll, like, sort of show you the map. And somehow, like, the map and the line of your shot being like hit just looks so realistic and good. I don't know why, but it's
just good graphics.
Good graphics in there. I don't know what's going on.
Goodness gracious, these graphics.
These graphics is goodness. So, yeah, I don't know that I have a ton of very deep and thoughtful gamer thoughts about Clap Handz Golf, but it's a good golf game.
So is it just like, is it a realistic golf game? Is it like arcade golf? Is it somewhere in between?
I mean, yeah, it seems like it's kind of striking a distance between like Tiger Woods PGA 04.
Yeah.
And just the hit A at the right time of like a Mario Golf. I actually haven't played it with touch controls yet, but the way that it works on a controller is like you essentially have a marker for where you want to hit, and you pull back the like right stick essentially far enough and then push it forward to like hit the ball, which is like a little bit harder than you might think on a tiny little analog. If I was doing this on like the jumbo controller, it might work a little bit easier, but because it's on kind of the tinier sticks of the Backbone one, it's a little bit of a challenge.
So
but it's
does
good.
It expect you to do this on like a regular phone screen with like virtual analog sticks if you don't have a Backbone?
That's sort of what I don't know the answer to because I haven't played. I suspect it's probably not a digital analog stick. I bet it's probably just like you pull back on the screen and then flick forward. So I may be making this game more difficult for myself than I need to, but it's still pretty fun. Like I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool.
It kind of goes through the typical like, here's your golfers that you can draft, and you got to put them through a tournament, and they get a little bit better when you do well in the tournament. And
so it's got a little bit of RPG elements in there for you.
Exactly. Yeah. No, the progression is
you love a little progression.
Itches my weird lizard brain that needs progression in a video game.
I feel you.
I am also still playing and pretty much done with Advanced Wars 2.
Okay, cool.
Black Hole Rising.
Is that really the name of the game?
Yep, Black Hole Rising.
And wash away the pain.
Black Hole Rising. Won't you come?
Right. Such an intense name for a kid's game.
Yeah, I mean, Advanced Wars is so interesting. There's like so much weird stuff about like war and conflict in there, but it's all wrapped in this sort of like cutesy aesthetic. I don't know. It's a lot, but regardless, played through a lot of this one. It's pretty good. It got pretty long towards the end. Like each fight would take me like an hour or so.
Yeah,
damn, which was good.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it just kind of made the W's a little bit more satisfying. So yeah, I will talk more about Advanced Wars in just a moment, but I am on this sort of strategy game kick as a result.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm also replaying through Wargroove.
Oh, okay, sure.
I had mentioned this kind of recently because I was playing through the first Advanced Wars, and this is a game that came out. It feels like a little while ago. Yeah. I think this may have been closer to like the beginning of the Switch's life cycle. It is a game for Switch, and it very much sort of embodies a similar kind of game that Advanced Wars was doing, wherein it's like kind of a tile-based strategy game where you draft units in every level, as opposed to like sort of the other like Fire Emblem-y or Final Fantasy Tactics style of game where there's like specific people and units that you use. This one's more like you need to get a soldier or a pikeman or something like that.
Gotcha.
And it is good in ways that like updated the systems, right? Because like I don't think that like ton of these games in this genre, or at least none that break out quite as much as this one did.
Yeah.
And so like there's some things that are like very good in the upgrade stuff, but I think they added something that's like a little bit more frustrating for me, which is the mechanic of here is the one unit that can't die, and if they do die, your game is over.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it's not great. I like don't love when they do that in like RPGs, especially like Persona does this too, which bums me out, where like if Joker dies, that's it. Like you have items that can resurrect someone, but if Joker dies, no, they forget how to use this thing.
It's all over.
Yeah, so it's a similar sort of thing of like there's commanders in this game, so if one of them go down, then that's it for the run. And so like sometimes you'll just get caught, like some huge flyer will come out of nowhere and just like nuke the person that you're supposed to protect.
Damn.
And so that's a little bit harsh, but I think the other stuff in it is really good. They do a lot of fun mechanics with positioning being like a really big part of the game. And like in Fire Emblem and a little bit in Advanced Wars, there's like critical hits that'll happen every now and then. Whereas in Wargroove, your critical hits will be determined by if you've positioned yourself correctly. So like there are some unit types that will do critical hits only when they're on mountain tiles, or only if they're next to the commander, or only if they're next to a type that is similar to them, or something like that, right? And so the game becomes a lot more of like, how can you sort of like wrap your army around these people in a way that benefits you the most, which does end up feeling a little bit more strategic.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, let me throw tanks and artillery at this until it's over.
Yeah. Just keep bombing them. Bomb them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of good stuff in there. It's also like gorgeous. Like it just looks so cool. The like art style is really great. So yeah.
Cool.
And then I recently ordered 2 DS games. 2 more RG351Ps. I need to play one with 2 hands on my face. No, I ordered a couple of games.
Oh, I think I know which one this is.
From GameStop.com.
GameStop.com?
Yeah, I didn't want to go to a GameStop and purchase these video games.
Whoa, Chase, you telling me that GameStop has an online marketplace and they'll deliver your games for you?
They will do that. I never thought why don't I do this? But they do that.
Do you have stock in GameStop? Is that why you're talking about this right now? Are you trying to pump the numbers up, baby? Are you a GME boy?
I am legally obligated to do. No, I don't have any stock.
Wall Street bets boy over here.
No, it's a pretty rough community out there. I don't think I could even approach. No, so I was lurking in the Into the Aether Discord, and as I am known to do, and a dude on there named Rufus was like, "Hey,
shout out Rufus."
Shout out Rufus. I was talking about Advance Wars or something, and he's like, "Hey, did you play Advance Wars Dual Strike?" And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
That was the DS one, isn't it?
It was the DS one that I had no idea existed. And yeah, so I quickly did a Google. I was like, "Oh my god!" I absolutely missed this game coming out. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Yeah, you should play it. It's one of the best Advanced Wars games." I was like, "Okay, fine, I will," and I did, and it's good. This is a good video game.
Nice.
This is one of the games that came with the GameStop order. It is a good Advanced Wars video game for the DS. This came out longer ago than I thought it did. I think it was 2005, 2006, something like that.
DS is old.
Yeah, the DS is old. I kind of forget about that sometimes. That just the regular non-3DS DS is
pretty old.
Quite an aged console at this point. So it takes great advantage of the dual screen thing because you can view most of the fight on the bottom screen, and the top screen will either display just information about whatever tile or unit you're looking at. But then also there's these fights where it's there's a sky battle going on up top. Ooh. And you can send units up there to sort of fight on their own. It's an AI based system, and they'll just do it for you, but adds this interesting level of almost offset warfare where you're trying to manage and just get through one of the fights so that one of them can be beaten, which will make the other one a lot easier.
Sure.
And so I don't know, it just sort of it makes it a lot more interesting. Not to mention that this game is sort of based, it's like the Double Dash of Advanced Wars games where you have 2 commanders at any given moment and you can swap in between them.
Okay.
Each one of them has a specific set of
that has some skills.
Exactly. Yeah. So somebody might be better at using a long range weapons, or somebody might be better at using close up tanky sort of stuff. And so you can really approach a situation in any way you want to, because it's this dude can buy units for really cheap, but he's not so strong. So if I can, in the beginning of the game, start off by using the guy to buy cheap units and then switch over to somebody who's a little bit stronger, then it'll, sort of make my mid game a lot easier. And so it's fucking good. I've been playing this game almost nonstop. Yeah. I've almost beaten this video game.
Dang.
So yeah,
you're going hard with the strategy games, man.
I don't know what the deal is.
Bloodborne itch right now.
I know. I'm hunting for the old blood right now. I don't necessarily understand this because I wouldn't call myself a big fan of these series or anything, but
well, you are now.
I guess so. I think just playing through the first Advanced Wars just roped me into this, and I kind of was I think I would like more of that, please. And the RG351P /GameStop.com/Rufus was there for me to point me in the right direction.
What a guy.
Yeah, it's a good video game. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think when I beat it, which I think is closer. The story's a little bonkers, so yeah, I'm interested to talk about it. But the final game that I've been playing, David, is the other game that I ordered from GameStop.com.
Is it Warioware Gold?
It is Warioware Gold, David.
Felt it in my bones.
This was another game that I just did not know existed. I would call myself a pretty big fan of WarioWare games.
I would agree.
Just like it slipped by me. I don't know what happened. So for those of you who haven't played a WarioWare game before, please do. It is like a series of micro games bundled into a macro game. So like you'll start one level and it'll just start throwing you tiny little mini games like rapid fire. None of them are particularly hard. I think the challenge just comes from like not knowing what to do and then being able to execute on what it says to do quickly. Because you have like 7 seconds to do it or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a long time. You got to figure out what you're doing and you got to do it real quick.
Yeah. So it's, to me, the fun of this game is definitely the first time you're playing it because you don't know what's coming at all. And it's just sort of a wide open space. And this one is also a WarioWare game. I don't like, I feel like the fucking Jason Bateman meme. I don't know what I expected. Like I played through this game and I was like, yeah, that was WarioWare.
That was WarioWare. Yeah.
Yeah.
In like a good way, a bad way, a medium way?
I mean, in a good way, right? Like it was fun. I enjoyed it. It is similar to WarioWare of yesteryear in that you can beat this game in probably a couple of hours. And then like sort of the fun of it is replaying it and unlocking everything and sort of going for higher scores. But like the main thrust of the quote unquote story is over pretty quickly.
Sure.
If you don't run into a ton of challenges. Speaking of which, the story in this game is fun. The plot goes that Wario realizes that it is pizza time and he is hungry. But then
he was like, doesn't have time.
It's literally what he says, hungry, and then looks at his safe, which is empty, and says, oh, no money. And he sees a commercial or some sort of news report that a certain video game is selling very well. So he decides to host a video game tournament with micro games built by his friends to make a ton of money.
He's always just trying to make that Skrilla. He's a grinder. He's a grinder. He's
an accurate representation of an American entrepreneur is what Wario is. So the weirdest part about this game is that, what's his name? Charles Martinet, the like main voice of Wario and Mario and all of the Arios.
He does all of them?
Yeah, he does a lot of their voices.
Wow, I'd be impressed.
He does a lot of dialogue in this game.
As Wario?
As Wario. Wario talks a lot in this video game. Kind of weird. Let me give you just a little sampling of the game.
It's pizza time. Oh yeah, no money. I need to make some quick cash, and fast.
That's a lot of the intro of the game.
Breaking news! Smash Hit Super Pure has taken the world by storm! Let's face it, everyone loves this game!
Hey?
And it's selling like hotcakes!
Of course, games! Talk about easy money!
It's like more dialogue from Wario.
This is the most I've ever heard Wario speak. By far.
I guess
look here. It's a Wario. I'm hosting the greatest video game tournament of all time here in Diamond City. It costs 10,000 coins to enter, but some jerk will walk out of here 10 million coins richer. And hey, who knows? Maybe that jerk will be you. So prepare.
It's so much talking. A lot of talking from Wario in this game, which is kind of good and kind of unsettling too. I wish they would be brave enough to do this with Waluigi, but they aren't yet.
Yeah, I don't feel like I want to hear any of these characters talk that much. That was kind of disquieting.
It's a little weird. Yeah, it's not what you expect when Wario starts opening his mouth, like speaking full English in sentences.
Yeah. And then he started speaking full English.
I just sort of need him to like communicate in grunts and saying his own name, but no, he's like really out here.
Yeah, it's like grunts or like one word phrases, one or two word phrases, and then I'm just reading everything else.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Anyway, yeah, it was a little. It's got a kind of threatening aura about it whenever Wario's starting to speak in full sentences.
Oh my god, he's evolved.
Yeah, he's gotten stronger. Some weird dino DNA has leaked out into his habitat, and he's learning to speak.
Yeah, he's been eating fruits and vegetables. My god,
getting stronger. So yeah, good WarioWare game. That's all I necessarily have to say about it.
Rad.
All of this, however, will bring me to my Podtimistic thing of the week, David, which is, so you saw that Yahoo Answers is dying.
I didn't.
Yahoo Answers is dying.
Oh my god. Where else am I going to go for ridiculous answers to things?
I know, yeah. No one will ever know any more knowledge ever. So yeah, it's dying, but there was a mod that I saw that's actually going to try and keep some of the legendary questions alive. Mm-hmm. Of course, I think the most reasonable extension of that is the mod for the typing of the dead, which is now added Yahoo Answers questions as the sentences that you have to type out in Typing of the Dead to shoot the zombies.
That must be so hard.
Yeah, they're not words that you necessarily type all that often.
No.
So yeah, it's going to be challenging, but you can start to kill zombies through Yahoo Answers. So not a lot to say, just sort of it tickled me, and I'm glad that somebody's doing the hard work of maintaining the internet.
And that's all you need to say, baby.
David, is there something that is fueling your sense of Podtimism this week?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a cool gun.
A cool gun. A real gamer moment.
Real gamers only get this. But like a unique gun.
Sure, yeah.
You know, just Ratchet
of the Ratchet and Clank style?
Yeah, man. It's just, why don't more games do this and just do really unique, cool things? Like, I want to turn more people into pixels or sheep.
That's fun.
You know, that's fun. That's just a fun way to engage with the game. And there's just too many Call of Duty shooters out there. I want some cool, interesting weapons.
I can only shoot the M1 Garand so many times, Call of Duty. Please.
No, I think we've peaked. The M1 Garand has peaked. You can't make it any better than it already is.
That ding can only feel so good so many times, you guys.
Yeah. The only other thing you could do at this point is just make an M1 Garand light gun and just make an M1 Garand shooting hero.
Yeah, but you're right. There's just a lot of guns in game. Mm-hmm. A lot of gun in video game.
Which guns are you talking about? Which video game are you talking about? Are you talking about all games in general, or are you talking about a specific game?
There's just a lot of gun in video game, David.
This means nothing. This means so much that it means nothing.
Yeah, I feel like there's just so many guns in every single video game out there that and so many of them, just based on the sheer usage of them, a lot of them are bad, but the ones that are good are so good.
Right. Just imagine if a game you played, all the guns were good.
Ratchet and Clank, very fun. Resistance, obviously, same company, so great guns in there.
Are people just afraid to do it because Insomniac does it so well?
Probably. They're just so good. I'm trying to think, there have to be other cooler shit out there. I'm only thinking of Ratchet and Clank right now.
I mean, some games have cool gadgets or one cool or different gun, but they're not all cool and different guns.
And Portal, I mean, that's a cool gun, the game.
Sure. Gravity gun, Valve does pretty good. I'm
trying to think of things that aren't gun. Doom has cool guns, but they're definitely guns.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to get excited when I find a shotgun for the 500th time in a video game. And I'm okay, I guess I do shotgun things now. You know?
Yeah, I'm looking at just a list of guns. They're all just guns. Is my problem.
This gun shoots fast. This gun shoots loud. This gun shoot far and accurate. It's guns, baby.
It's guns. I mean, I would be hard pressed to not mention a Mega Man Buster. That's a good gun. What article am I in that it is currently listing the Blades of Chaos as a gun?
What?
That ain't no gun.
That's
not a gun at all.
Kratos about to pull up and take those Blades of Chaos out.
I added a gun to my Blades of Chaos. I don't think I know how to do a Kratos.
He's gonna come up to Thor in the next game and be like,
"These are the guns
of chaos now."
I just duct tape fucking guns onto the end of them. Made by Activision. Get fucked. It's gun time.
I just went over to the Call of Duty Pantheon for a second and came back with some sweet guns. Dutyheim?
No, I went over. Yeah, Dutyheim. I went over to Call of Dutyheim. Got some guns. I don't think I'm doing Kratos. I'm trying to, and I don't think it's working.
You're doing it too gravelly. It just needs to be low and stern.
I went over to Call of Duty. No, it's still just gravelly. I'm sorry.
It's more
over to Call of Duty.
Boy, we're going to Call of Dutyheim. We're going to get guns for my blades. That's my best Kratos.
Dude, this game was so fucking good. Anywho, yeah, I think Blades of Chaos are the coolest gun.
Blades of Chaos are definitely the coolest gun around. For certain.
Great. After that absolutely accurate gamer fact, would you like to move on to our main thing?
Yeah, we probably should.
Cool. So we were on a bit of a Genesis kick.
We sure were.
And we were like, hey, let's do Earthworm Jim as a good games.
Yeah, bad news, everybody.
Bad news. If you liked Earthworm Jim, the creator is a dumpster, so that sucks.
Yeah.
So rather than give more publicity to a shitty dude, we'll do a different game. Because there's a lot of games where it's like, I don't really know a lot of the people who worked on that, but Earthworm Jim was like this dude's game. So
yeah, he was pretty prominent as like, this is my thing.
Yeah. So anyway, we're doing Buck Bumble instead.
What a swerve.
Zigged when we thought they were going to zag.
Went from Earthworm Jim to Buck Bumble.
Bucky
Bumble.
This was suggested to us from the listener Drew.
Ooh, shout out to Drew.
Shout out to Drew.
From Seattle.
Should do Buck Bumble, and we were like, okay. So yeah, did you play this game back in the day, or was this a recent play for you?
I have never heard of this game.
Awesome.
Never heard of it. But I played it. I just played a little bit of it. I definitely legally played it.
Yeah, you bought the Buck Bumble cartridge and fired it up.
Buck Bumble cartridge, pulled out my old N64 and I plugged it in on my computer.
And then when you were mapping your PlayStation 4 controller to your N64, there were some technical difficulties.
There were some real difficulties in there, but I played a little bit of it. I was able to play a little bit of it.
Great.
I think I got the gist.
Sure, the B-based gist.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into Buck Bumble, let me hit you with some hot stats. Oh, wait. I haven't even introduced this segment. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, dude, you're off the rails.
Off the rails. I'm unhinged right now.
You're on the sauce and off the rails.
Somebody stop me.
Was that The Mask?
That was The Mask.
Wow.
The 2021 reboot of The Mask, where Jim Carrey just does a podcast as The Mask.
Whoa. Did you ever hear Will Ferrell's podcast where he's trying to be Ron Burgundy?
No. Oh, God. Is it good or bad? It's painful because loved Anchorman when I was 12 or whatever that was.
Still good.
Yeah. I honestly haven't watched it in a few years. I hesitate to say hell yeah, Anchorman. I wonder if there's some bummer shit in there. But I sure did love it when I was younger.
I'm sure there is some bummer shit in there.
There's probably some bummer shit. Anyhoozle, let me hit you with some hot... No, God damn it. God damn it, David. I'm out of sorts.
Welcome to Good Games, where we
David.
talk about all the greatest games of yesteryear, and then maybe we talk about some other things about the game as well, because who knows what we're going to do. We just kind of do what we want. That's the segment. Here we are.
We usually podtimistically gush about the things that we love about them.
That too. Chase, I'm assisting Chase on this one. He finished it off though. There you go.
You carried me to the finish line. I took the last step.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. We can do this.
I made you a promise, Mr. Frodo, and I intend to keep it.
Oh, God.
I'm going to do this podcast with you.
We're saying this is a joke, but I'm getting chills right now thinking about that moment.
It's very good. The whole movie all three movies are just very, very good.
They're so good, yeah.
Okay, so now that we've introduced this segment, now I may legally hit you with hot stats about Buck Bumble.
Let's hear them.
Hot stats. Okay, so Buck Bumble came out for the Nintendo 64 September of 1998. So a little ways ago.
98.
Little ways ago. It was developed by a company named Argonaut Games, and they made some video games.
Cool.
They made, yeah. End of sentence.
End of segment. Hot stats are done.
They made a game called X, which was this old space flight game that was pretty basic, but still very cool at the time. They helped Nintendo with Star Fox. I think Argonaut Games, they were building a lot of space flight sort of stuff.
Sure.
Space flight sort of games. And so they were invested in the technology and how to do it right. Mm-hmm. And so I think they had come up with a prototype of a game that ended up being Star Fox.
Hell yeah.
Which is cool.
That's cool.
They also dropped the hit Croc, Legend of the Gobbos.
Legend of the Gobbos?
I don't know if you remember Croc or not.
I remember
the
Croc,
platformer.
but I don't remember the subtitle.
The Legend of the Gobbos. Gobbos. I hope it's not Goobos or Goobles or something, but I'm pretty...
BBOS?
Gobbos. Gobbos.
Gobbos.
Gobbos is also the name of a nightclub in Canada that has 2.1 stars out of 5 on Google reviews.
That don't sound like a place you want to go. 2.1 stars.
Jesse Ryan says, it's gross inside. Terrible atmosphere. If you try to play a game of pool with your friends, just wait for someone to try and fight you for it.
Wait, is that a real review?
That's a real review.
That's
Another
awesome.
one is... Another review is, owner's son needs to front up and try not to fight so many people.
What? So there's a dude owns this place and his son's just trying to fight the patrons?
There are multiple reviews saying that the dude's trying to fight people. Oh my god.
There's a video game in there for sure. There's a video. You starts off as playing pool and then it just becomes WWE wrestling.
And
it
then
becomes Def Jam Vendetta.
And Gobbo, son of Gobbo, comes out to try and fight you.
Son of Gobbo.
Oh my god. Metal Gobbo. Okay.
What an interesting corner of the internet you just found.
I know, yeah.
This guy is just trying to fight people who are trying to give him money. What a weirdo. Owner's son needs to front up and stop trying to fight people so much.
Holy moly.
Well,
okay.
Gobbo, you are on blast. Sorry.
So Argonaut Games made Gobbo the Nightclub, the fighting simulator. They also made the Bionicle game. I don't know if you played that at any point.
I didn't know there was a game.
They made iNinja. I played this game. This was fun. It was a PlayStation 2 game. They also made Carve, which was a wave race ass looking video game.
Oh, cool.
I think it came out for Xbox, which I am going to try and play because it looked cool.
Is it on Game Pass?
Probably not, but it's probably available in the underground internet. On the illegal.
Are you about to make a deal with?
I'm about to make a deal with the internet old one who's going to give me a copy of Carve, the save race game.
For only a portion of my soul.
I have a review of Buck Bumble from the outlet Video Games, which is a German outlet.
Whoa, is that 3 weeks in a row for video games?
Yeah, Video Games, the outlet is big right now. We were Joe Video stands for a while, but Joe hasn't been showing up in my review list for a little while.
All right, Joe.
It's been Video Games.
You're on notice, Joe.
You're on notice, Joe. So I have taken their review. I've run it through Google Translate about 50 times through every language that I could find and then spat it back out in English. And so let's take a listen to what Video Games had to say. They reviewed Buck Bumble as the following. They said, because of its personality and attractive appearance, Back Bumble is different from many other images and has never been boring lately. A little fog and easy control gives all the justice. Verification note. 80 out of 100.
Wait, the last sentence was verification note?
Verification note. I don't remember exactly what that translated to English the first time, but it was not just that. There's meaning in there somewhere. I just don't know what it is.
It's some sort of strange saying or something somewhere. That just became verification note. That's funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so you played through a little bit of this. Do you feel comfortable explaining what this game is? Like what the actual video game is?
Yeah. So it's essentially like an arena air battle game, like dogfighting game essentially.
Yeah.
But you are B. You are Buck Bumble.
That is true.
Cyborg B. Cyborg, as we were saying beforehand. From the fjords of I don't need what's a Jord place in somewhere Nordic.
What's a Jord place? I think Oslo from Beeslow, from Reykjavik.
Okay.
From Reykjavik.
A cyborg from the fjord of Reykjavik.
He's from England. The bee is from England.
Okay, yeah, it's based in England.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're essentially you're a bee. You're in a large arena that you fly around in and then shoot down other insects. That's the main thrust of the game. You're fighting evil insect horde who have been chemically altered by man's evil chemicals.
By man's hubris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. There's like objectives in any given level of like go shoot the thing or grab this like thing that's at the end of the level.
Shoot the thing, destroy the thing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but more often than not, yeah, you're right. It's like you come into sort of an arena and there's a bunch of like wasps flying around that you have to shoot with a gun.
There are guns that you just pick up and just start murking these bugs.
Yeah, I think that's most of the game. I have a lot of notes on why this game is good. I had no problem drawing on my Podtimism well for Buck Bumble.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, let's gush about Buck Bumble. I want to hear what we love about this game.
It filled me with so much joy and laughter every time I shot down one of the other bugs, because it would make a sound like an airplane going down. And I thought that was just the funniest thing. I don't know why, but it just was so goofy and funny that they just went down like,
yeah, it was literally a propeller.
It was like a
sound
propeller plane going down. And it was just really funny. I don't know. That's the first Podtimistic thing that comes to me with this game, was that this just a top tier sound effect choice for that.
Sure, yeah. It is weird. Like, I know that they were probably definitely like making this like a dogfighting game, but it is funny that they literally chose to make it like the sound of an old timey plane going down.
It was like a stock sound effect from like World War I movies.
They just played like the Wilhelm scream after
pretty much
when somebody went down.
Pretty much.
That's funny. Yeah, no, the sound design in it's pretty fun. I have a lot of thoughts about the sound because there's a lot there, but
sure is.
But yeah, that's funny. I didn't even put that together. I think because when I played this, I was a kid and I was like, well, yeah, it's dogfighting, of course. But as an adult, I'm sure your eyes on this one, your fresh eyes are like, why would they do this?
Yeah, what adult decided to make the bug have a plane sound attached to it? It's just funny to me. It's just funny.
I mean, it is obvious that it's dying, like that it's going down.
Oh, totally.
You know,
it really communicates that well. It's just it's just really fun. It's just really funny.
Yeah. I guess like it's either that or what, like an explosion?
I guess an explosion or like, I don't know, I guess just a bug dying doesn't really have a satisfying sound.
Not a lot of sounds, yeah. I think I'm in favor of the plane sound.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's very communicative.
Yeah.
It just fills me with glee every time a bug makes that noise while flying through the air to the ground.
Sure. Yeah, I totally agree. The plot is bananas. Let me start there with one of my gushes.
Sure.
So the game takes place in the far-flung future of 2010 England, which is fun.
That's fun. Yeah.
Fun that was 11 years ago.
It's the future past.
It's the future past. Yeah, you're right that there was a toxic chemical spill that infects all the insects in the area and turns them into real bastards that want to take over the world. So the Wikipedia entry for Buck Bumble had a pretty wild sentence that it said about the plot. The Wikipedia entry said that Buck, just referring to him as his first name,
old Buck, you know,
Buck is a volunteer bee that opts to have cyborg parts implanted into him so that he can fight the other evil insects. So there's a lot of implications in a very short sentence there. A, this bee has a first name named Buck. His name is Buck. Second, the bees are able to volunteer for military service.
Very progressive society in 2010.
Buck has opted into being in the military, meaning that there's a lot of thought going through Buck.
He's just he's a patriot.
Of England, I guess.
Yeah.
There is cyborg technology that is small enough to be implanted into bees. And to be honest, a lot of the time the technology only shows up as Buck being able to wield a gun. Buck just has guns. I don't know what tech they're necessarily talking about, but
opposable thumbs.
Buck got a thumb. That's the big tech that they put in him. Also, I think it means that Buck sort of has like a moral compass because he signed up to fight the evil insects. He like has thoughts on their actions. So I think Buck Bumble is doing a lot of showing and not telling. They're just telling me a lot about the in-universe lore of Buck Bumble without having to really explain it out to me.
Environmental storytelling, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The audio logs in Buck Bumble are just bar none some of the best stuff. The game opens with just a text crawl. It's like showing you the chemical spill. And it's like, in 2010, there was a bad spill and Buck is here to shoot the fucking bees, which I was not expecting. I was very much expecting just to go into Buck Bumble. But no, they're like, here you go. Here's some story to chew on for a little while, which was really enjoyable for me. I love it when a game takes its lore very seriously for a game that does not require it to do that.
It's true. I did appreciate the story in it. Yeah, the little little exposition in the beginning.
It reminds me, unironically, of Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
Because there's like sort of just like missions that you go on at any time, and a lot of them are just based around like go and fight these dudes. But yeah, so that was my first gush. Do you have another gush?
I did think that the controls were actually surprisingly good.
I thought this too.
They were tight controls.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to fly around as a bee so easily.
It like takes a second to like really understand like, okay, A is go, like to move forward, and B sort of like slows you down a little bit. B.
Hey, you said the word.
And like there's like a shoot button, but yeah, once you get that, like there's probably 10 minutes in, I was like, I'm doing this, baby. We're bee dogfighting.
I'm a bee, man.
I know what Will.i.am was talking about. Finally.
Maybe Will.i.am was just a big fan of this game as a kid, and he just would sing that to himself. I'm a bee. I'm a bee. I'm a bee. I'm a bee. Bee. I'm a bee. Checks out. He could have played this as a kid.
He absolutely could have, actually. I agree. The controls were good. It's oddly tight. Not expecting the dogfighting to be quite as good, but like the turns feel good, the shooting feels good. Like when you're really chasing after somebody and it's like you can't quite get them, then you finally like lock your crosshairs on like another wasp or something and get a couple of good shots on it. You're like, hell yeah. That felt weird. Got him. That felt weirdly good.
No, definitely. It makes sense from a company that helped make Star Fox, now that you said all that.
Yeah, I was like, after sort of getting the context of the games they made, I was like, okay, this like makes sense that they would kind of have flight down a little bit better. Because a lot of this plays out like the sections of Star Fox where it is not on rails, where you have sort of like the big
arenas.
Circular. Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit more in depth and being able to like stop and, you know, slow down at your will. So yeah, it makes sense. And like genuinely under that context, I know that like it's not 1-to-1 for Star Fox, but it kind of feels similar, especially when I think there's like a button you can hit that does the like kind of Star Fox like loop-de-loop or whatever, where you like double back and like let somebody go in front of you.
I did appreciate that there was a B loop-de-loop in this game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no barrel roll, but definitely a loop-de-loop, which felt pretty good.
No barrel roll? That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good.
That portmanteau is painful coming out of your body.
Yeah, it sounded just like one big yeah, not a good one.
Okay, the music of Buck Bumble.
Here we go. Here we are.
It's so good. The music in this game is so good. So the dude who worked on the soundtrack, Justin Charvona.
What a name.
He was quoted about writing the music for this game. He said, I've intentionally tried to go for something that fits in with the futuristic and not cutesy. Something a bit harder. We didn't want to do the sort of boring techno stuff as well, or jungle. So we picked Speed Garage. It's funkier than House and Garage. There's a lot of things in that sentence that when I read it made almost no sense.
That's a lot of music talk right there.
References to genres that I did not understand. So let me see. I'm trying to think if we should start at the Buck Bumble theme song and work backwards, or if we should start with the influences and work up to the Buck Bumble theme song. What do you think?
I think we need context, so we need to talk about the theme song first.
Okay, great. Then let's do that. Let me play a little bit of the Buck Bumble. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity Buck Bumble. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumble. Absolute bop.
I get Toonami vibes from Buck Bumble.
Honestly, yeah, and I think that's not a mistake.
No, definitely not.
And I'll sort of explain why in a second, because I think you're right on that one. So yeah, this was like the main theme song, which absolutely slaps. And as I was telling you before the podcast, I think like it's kind of been memed a little bit, like it's sort of a joke. And I think in the same way that Megalovania from Undertale is a joke, in the sense that like people heard the song and were like, damn, that's pretty good for this video game. And then just played it so much that it almost became a meme just to like hear the song.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's got you going for sure. So he mentioned a bunch of stuff in this quote, right? I think the sort of first thing to talk about is what he called Speed Garage and then Jungle, which are these two like subgenres. Just before we get into it super far, both of them are like share the common ancestor of the hardcore breakbeat scene of the early 90s in the UK, which is already a very specific like genre that we're walking through here. So essentially,
there's so many tabs of music open.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of context in here. So I tried to like look through a bunch of like wiki articles and like explanations of this, and like I'm sure I'm gonna step on someone's genre toes here, but essentially my understanding thus far on my sort of cursory research is that jungle and speed garage are similar kinds of music, that they both share this like kind of influence of the hardcore breakbeat scene of the 90s in the UK, which in itself is sort of a specific genre of like kind of drum and bass inspired music. They use a lot of like 4 to the floor kind of beats that there's a lot of like driving music mostly. So I think to like the layman who's maybe not super familiar with this genre, a lot of this stuff is about to sound the same, but I think a lot of people who are like maybe really into this are gonna know some distinctions.
Sure.
Okay, so let me play you a few examples of songs from this genre. And I think it'll be kind of illuminating. So the first one I wanted to show you is Todd Edwards. It's a song called "Saved My Life." People reference this a lot. I think this is an example of jungle. Now let me see. This is an example of speed garage. Sorry. And you'll notice kind of a similar DNA to the Bumble stuff, honestly.
I feel it in there.
Yeah, it's like got this sort of bounce to it. And like, honestly, prior to really like listening to this on its own, a lot of this music just kind of sounds like Toonami music, or to me, Gran Turismo used a lot of songs like this. I could
see that, yeah. Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer, yeah, it's another good example. Let me see. This is sort of like jungle beat music, which is like essentially to me sounds like a sped up version of the previous music.
Yeah, I hear it.
Again, I read a bunch of stuff that was like, well, speed garage is a faster version of jungle or something like that. And it's like, I have no clue. Honestly, it sounds so similar to me.
Yeah.
I know that, like, again, I'm stepping on someone's genre toes, but I think a lot of this stuff is kind of similar in that way. Anyway, I fell down the rabbit hole a little bit on this stuff.
I can see.
So a lot of this music, it like derives from this one fill that this one band had. So let me contextualize just even a little bit farther. There's this song called Amen Brother by the Winstons, which is this song, came out in 1969. Let me play a little bit of it for you here. It's just kind of like a soul song, like kind of
I like it.
Yeah, it's like not like complicated stuff, but it's like an instrumental band. It's good music. Like I listened to this, I was like, yeah, it sounds great. But there is a drum beat that happens at 126 in this. Let me get to that part. Okay,
the little phantom beat right there.
What you have just heard is called the Amen break, which is in fucking everything. It's like the most common sampled drum line. Somebody in the comments was like, if you slow it down to 0.75, it is hip hop, which let me see if I can do. Sounds like hip hop.
I see that.
1.25 is Toonami. This is like Cowboy Bebop Toonami shit right here.
It sounds frantic, manic.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just the sampled bit that is in so many of these songs. Like, if you look at like any of the music that's come out of this era, it like this beat is just all over it. It's constantly in there. And like even just like variations on it are in there. Well, they'll like play that beat but pull out like a second snare hit or the third bass drum or something like that. But that sort of like very fast and like you said, frantic drum break is in a lot of this music. So anyway, to bring it back to Buck Bumble, the only song in this game that is not like this is the intro, which is like this sort of like
pretty stereotypical
fantasy, like RPG intro music.
Yeah, video game
but
music.
Like by far the rest of it is just variations on this. It all sounds like this like speed garage sort of stuff. And if you listen to the drums, again, it's all the sort of amen break.
Yeah, I hear it.
They all sound like it.
This is the club right here.
I mean, it was club music. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like in looking at this, it was mostly music that was just played at like raves and shit.
Yeah. It's a fun type of music to have for a game.
Yeah, I was so interested in this because like I keep wondering like what a game would look like if somebody just make like a lo-fi study beats to chill to video game soundtrack. And I'm sure it would age something like this, where it's like there's this video game and the music like kind of match, but in sort of a weird way.
Yeah, it's almost a mismatch, so it matches.
A little bit, yeah. And like it is interesting to me that like this kind of music in this genre was very much like UK based, and so was this video game. The company was UK based and the story was UK based. So like
fly that Union Jack with pride.
Exactly, yeah. So canonically Buck Bumble is British, which is fun.
Buck is
and he listens to nothing but jungle and speed garage. Anyway, I thought it was just like an interesting use of a genre that I wouldn't necessarily think of in a game that also I would not necessarily think to like piece those two things together.
Definitely not, but it gives it a very unique vibe.
Yeah,
We're all about the vibe here. We know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, the sort of 11 o'clock midnight sort of Toonami. You wake up and there's a commercial for Cowboy Bebop going on in the background sort of vibe.
Should we watch Cowboy Bebop?
God, yeah, it's so good.
One.
It's very good. Yeah, so I thought that was definitely a gushable part of this video game was just its usage of music.
Very gushable. It's a gushable game.
Yeah. Did you? I guess we don't necessarily need to make a grilled cheese sandwich here because you did play this video game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I got the gist of it, I feel.
Do you have anything else that's gushable for you?
Nothing that springs to mind. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed my brief stint with it before my emulator broke.
Yeah.
Because I'm video game incompetent on the PC.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think like overall, like just I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I like definitely had fond memories of this and was like, I bet like this one isn't so good in hindsight, but like it takes a second to get in there, but then you're like, okay, no, like this is actually a pretty good video game in here.
Yeah.
The last like little piece of information that I wanted to share was Nick Clark, the producer of this game, was doing an interview back in the day about naming Buck Bumble. And he said, we wanted a name that was synonymous with an action hero, something punchy that instantly gave some pace to the game. We could hardly call him Trevor or Malcolm.
Huh?
Get wrecked, Trevors and Malcolms. You guys are so slow and
heroes.
You're not like bees at all.
You're not bees. You don't listen to speed garage music.
You're not partying in the UK.
Yeah. Get wrecked. We got Buck over here.
Buck is ready to party, dude. Buck absolutely like shoots down insects and goes out to the club afterwards. Is all sweaty and hot in the summer.
That bug is a man.
It was interesting to me that like pace was a big deal to them because they called that out specifically in this interview. Gave some pace to the game just based on his name. So I think like their choice of music, their choice in the name of Buck Bumble, and the game design itself, I think was meant to be pretty fast paced. And I think it shines through in a way that isn't typical to like just a shooter. It's not just that you're shooting fast. It's like you fly pretty quickly, you get moving very quickly, like your acceleration is fast. The game gets you playing it very quickly.
It does, yeah, it just kind of drops you right in.
So I don't know, I thought that was an interesting exploration of being fast paced. It's sort of atypical in a way. Anything else to say about Buck Bumble?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good too. This game was a joy.
Yeah, thank you, Drew.
Thanks, Drew, for your suggestion. I don't think I mentioned this, but I also played Buck Bumble when I was younger, and enjoyed it quite a bit. So it was kind of a treat to return to.
I missed this one totally as a kid, so it was nice to experience it.
Absolutely. Hello, listener. We are on Twitter if you would like to interact with us there. We also have an email that we mention about every 5 episodes or so. So here's your quarterly mention of email. It's at vgpodtimism@gmail.com. So you can talk to us there if you would like to. Let's see. If you want to help out the show, a couple of great ways to do it. A, you could leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That's an easy way to do one of them. Another way to do it is to show it to a friend of yours and say, hey, did you play Bumble when you were a kid? Or are you interested in bee-based video games? Because man, have I got a cool pod for you.
Pause B movie and watch this and listen to this episode.
David, I didn't want to say it explicitly, but I was wondering if we could possibly get through this episode without mentioning the B movie. We were so close.
I'm sorry I ruined it.
No, it wasn't a ruining thing. I was just, it's sort of a personal challenge of like, how hard can we not think about an elephant?
It's me, Jerry Seinfeld. I'm a bee. That's my best Jerry Seinfeld.
I got cyborg parts put in my body. I'm going to go shoot these wasps or something. My name's Buck. I can't do Jerry either.
That just sounded like you yelling a little bit.
None of this is good. I've done zero good impersonations. This
gotta do for a Jerry. It's like you go high but low at the same time. Like it's me, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
that's my best. That's my best Jerry.
That's your best Buck Bumble.
Jerry Seinfeld. That's me, Buck Bumble. Sorry, Jerry Seinfeld.
Sorry, dude. And also Buck. So yeah, those are some things you could do to help out if you would like to. If not, totally cool. And more importantly, thanks for listening.
Yeah,
my goodness.
Thank you for listening to my Jerry Seinfeld impersonation for not the first time on this podcast. I think it's only gotten worse.
Yeah, I sort of thought I was good at impersonations, but this episode has sort of given me some challenging evidence to the contrary.
You did some good ones. Your Sonic was pretty good.
Yeah, my Sonic was okay. It wasn't terrible, but like Sonic doesn't have a defined voice as much as like Kratos or Jerry Seinfeld or Buck Bumble.
You sounded, for your Sonic, was more like the kid who does like the Sonic YouTube videos as opposed to actual Sonic.
Sure.
But it was still good. Still had the vibe of Sonic.
Yeah, brought the energy. Thank you for listening. We appreciate your ear minutes here. We love making it, and so we love that somebody else loves listening. Hell yeah. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you writing in. Also, thanks for Drew for suggesting Buck Bumble. Good suggestion.
Let us know what you think, Drew.
Drew's going to start a podcast based around this episode about whether or not this episode about Buck Bumble was any good.
Reactions to video game Podtimism with Drew.
What were they thinking? Bad episode. No, Drew's not like that.
That's the whole podcast. What were they thinking? Bad episode. 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's it. Unless, David, you have any gaming wisdom for us to go out on this week.
I do.
Cool.
There's 2 things you should never do.
Okay.
1, pollute the environment.
Yeah, true.
Bad bugs are going to get you.
Bad bugs going to get you.
2, never try to impersonate Jerry Seinfeld.
It's a dark road.
It's a bad move, man. Bad move. You're just going to sound like a fool. Or maybe not. Prove me wrong. Give me your best Jerry Seinfeld impersonations on our Twitter.
Or send me your best Jerry Seinfeld impersonations, because for whatever reason, when I try to conjure that man's name, Jerry Seinfeld is the only thing that comes in.
So what does Jerry Seinfeld sound like, Chase?
I'm a bumblebee. My Audacity is so mad at me for doing that just now.
You again. That was just your voice.
I don't know what to do with this.
Just a little higher.
It's a dark energy that I try to conjure and it just never goes anywhere. I don't know what it is.
All right, well, I guess we should just end this podcast now on our terrible Jerry Seinfeld and Jerry Seinfeld impersonations.
Good night, sweet Jerry.